boy claiming your shit.
W.I.G TV.
Somebody did it.
He got his name, W.I.G TV.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, WIG TV.
Hey, I
Booked Mac Dre to perform at a Halloween party Sunday the 31st, 2004 to close off the weekend. According to other sources like Jay Diggs, Mac Dre was scheduled to be there but ended up in an altercation with the promoter. From all appearances, Mac Dre showed up and did his part. But when it was time to leave, the promoter was refusing to pay the remaining sum owed as he wanted Mac Dre to stay longer. However, the promoter tells a different story, stating that Mac Dre again showed up late, and instead of trying to live up to his obligations, he allegedly left after 30 minutes without even performing. Davila, who spoke with Mac Dre before he arrived at the event, would allegedly later tell detectives that Mac Dre mentioned to him he didn't feel safe due to the nature of how things were organized. At this point, Whitmill, the promoter, is left at the event while Mac Dre leaves after the argument in a white van, allegedly driven by a man by the name of Pierce. Mac Dre would never make it back to his hotel. Reporters state that around 2:30 a.m., the white van was traveling northbound on Highway 71 just south of 75th Street when a dark sedan pulled alongside the driver's side of the van and unloaded upwards of 30 bullets from two separate guns, an automatic rifle, and a .45 pistol.
On Interstate 70, a group of armed men in a stolen car pulled up alongside his van, fired, and sped off.
The sedan rammed the driver's side of the van in between taking shots at it. The van would lose control and plunge into a ditch, tossing Mac Dre from the vehicle while the driver crawled from the wreckage and ran to the hotel for help. At approximately 3:30 a.m., an hour after the incident occurred, police would arrive at the scene to find a motionless Mac Dre with a bullet wound to the back of his neck. He was
Now that's crazy. It took a whole hour for the police to show up.
pronounced deceased at the scene. The black vehicle used in the homicide would be found later on with shell casings matching those at the scene, and holes from inside the door indicated the shooter fired from inside the vehicle rather than hanging outside. Further confirmation it was the vehicle in the crime was found in the white paint along the passenger side of the door where the white van was rammed in the attack. Mac Dre's passing shook the entire Bay Area. To them, he was a legend gone far too soon. But the question plaguing everyone's mind was, who was responsible? Many of those fingers pointed to a Kansas City rapper by the name of Anthony Watkins, also known as Fat Tone. Rumor began circulating that Fat Tone and Mac Dre had a falling out that weekend before Dre was murdered. The allegations of his involvement were later escalated when another rumor, even more sinister than the last, began circulating. It stated that Fat Tone released a song dissing Mac Dre and hinting at being responsible for his passing. As it turned out, that seemed far from the truth.
Cold part about it is they was throwing niggas for hella loops. Like they was trying to say Fat Tone was involved. Then they was trying to say, oh, it was this, right? But if you go watch this whole thing, right, this whole documentary, in the beginning, in the middle, kind of is breaking down how Mac Dre was like having problems with the promoter. You mentioned how he said he didn't feel safe, right? But they was trying to make it like, I'm gonna bust down at the end. I'm gonna bust down.
As no one has ever claimed to hear the song, from friends of Mac Dre to enemies, they all agree Fat Tone wasn't responsible for Mac Dre's passing. But it was too late. On May 3rd, 2005, assailants would retaliate for Mac Dre, taking Fat Tone's life along with another associate by the name of Jermaine Atkins, also known as Cowboy, and a possible female witness by the name of Lee Larson, who later lost her life.
In 2004, Bay Area rapper Mac Dre was killed in Kansas City. There were rumors, which police said were false, that Fat Tone did it.
He's among the most popular local rap artists, touting 5 CDs, including this new release. But after the murder of Mac Dre, Fat Tone's name began circulating in hip-hop magazines and websites as a possible suspect.
I ain't gonna lie, it was like, after watching that, it's called, there's the documentary called The Final Hours of Mac Dre, right? After watching that shit, I ain't gonna lie, it was like, it kind of like gave a nigga some more insight as to like what was going on with the situation, right? Like I said, they was trying to throw niggas through hella loops with this shit. And in the little documentary, right? Shout out Dose of Mystery. They was pointing out how Mac Dre was like getting into it with the promoters, right? Over like, you know, type like regular type like shit. You feel me? What I took from it is some of the Bay niggas who was coming out there to perform, right? Was going out there kind of like, you know, getting these bookings, but not kind of like fulfilling their obligations fully. Showing up halfway, not staying as long as they were supposed to stay, and this, that, and the third. But then, you know, it seemed like Dre was trying to make it right because he was the only one who stayed after everybody else cut. Niggas felt it in the air, like, okay, nigga, we kind of like doing a little bit too much, and I ain't, you know, this is speculation, but niggas kind of like felt it in the air, like, we doing too much, let's get up out of here. Dre like, nigga, I'm gonna try to make it right, and it sound like, yeah, that's what ended up leading down to some ugly shit. You feel me? And then it's just a whole bunch, like, they talking about niggas was shooting through doors and all this shit. That sound like some tactical shit. You feel me? That ain't sound like no regular, like, because most niggas, when they slide, nigga ain't finna just, nigga either gonna bounce out or, you feel me? Yeah, nigga ain't, not too many niggas is shooting through the window and shooting through the door. And then, like, for you to bust through the door, right, and be sure that you know, like, that just showed me, I ain't gonna lie, that just showed me you know what you doing a little bit. Feel me? And it sound kind of like the Tupac shit. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Go tap into that full documentary when y'all get a chance. You feel me? I took a little clip from it and, feel me? Because I didn't want to go too much, but it was a cool little watch. I end up watching some of it, so I'm like, shit, I'm going to just react to the part I ain't watching, man. Y'all need to let me know what y'all think.
Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Ay, I need that cheese like a grater, ho. Don't play me like no sin, cause I never Captain Saber, ho.
I'm about to be on some real murder shit, eh? I'm telling you, man. Any nigga that ever looked at me wrong owes me money.
Yeah, but you can fucking be my waiter, ho. Long as you get paper, ho. Cause shit, that's what the paper's for.